everybody. This afternoon I'm talking to you about my pesticide, herbicide. It's called Pathfinder 2. And I'm going to try to get this 15 minutes as best I can. So here we go. Why do we use forest pesticides? Pesticides in forestry are used for many different ways and applications. Some people just don't like fire. They may just prefer herbicides and pesticides over anything else. After clear cutting instead of fire, the site prepare for planting. Use it to control right of ways from being overrun with invasive species. And I should have took some pictures of yesterday because that right of way that me and Journey were working on yesterday needed something to be done bad. Because I ain't never seen so many briars before in my life. It took us 3 hours probably to go the width of the building. It was crazy. But it's also an efficient way to manage timber problems. Like I said, the best example I got is probably briars. Man, it was just crazy. And Journey can tell you the same thing we got to eat up yesterday. It can improve forest health and maximize the amount of timber that can be harvested. The less competition you have for your timber, the better the outcome will be in the end. So keep what you don't want down and what you do want up. Herbicides can also reduce the amount of time it takes timber to reach harvestable sizes. That goes again, spraying it for anything that you don't want. That way it ain't got to compete with your crop. If your crop has something to compete with, they're both battling for nutrients. They're basically splitting them up. It's going to take it longer to reach a harvestable size. If you don't have anything in there, then it's taking up all the nutrients it can get, helping it to grow. Pathfinder 2. Pathfinder 2 RTU herbicide controls more than 80 woody plant species. For the control of woody plants in forest and in rangeland and permanent pastures and in non-crop areas. What I found out about Pathfinder is people like it a lot. Just cause you can spray it. You can spray it anywhere basically you want to, as long as you ain't spray it in your mouth or in the water. You can spray it anywhere you want to, and it'll take care of the job. Apply it to the bark or to the cut surfaces of vines and undesirable hardwood trees. Smooth bark trees, you can spray it on smooth bark trees up to 6 inches of diameter, and it'll control that. And for rough bark trees, it only take up to 4 inches in diameter. I tried to look why it would only take up to 4 inches and 6 inches, but I couldn't find it, so I can't go into any further detail than that on that. But for Pathfinder 2, there is no mixing required. It can just come straight out of the bottle ready to be sprayed on whatever you're gonna try to control with it or kill or what have you. Application, problem solved. Crews can apply Pathfinder 2 year-round, which is something I found out that people like about Pathfinder 2. No matter if it's 10 degrees outside or 110 degrees outside, if it's January or July, you can spray this and it will take care of your problem. Crews apply Pathfinder 2 to unwanted vegetation through the base bark application technique. This technique applies Pathfinder 2 to the lower 15 inches of the bark at the base of selected brush, not on the plant's leaves. If you spray it on the leaves, it basically don't work. Have to keep it on a cut surface or the lower portions of the trees or bush, vines, or whatever you're going to be spraying. You want to treat the bark till it's wet, but not till it's dripping off. When spraying, if the herbicide turns white, that means the bark is too wet and the treatment will not work. So if it's been raining, you're just in a wet area, I suggest wait till it dries up before you spray it. Because like I said, not only will you be wasting money and time you'll just have to go back in there and try it again another day because it didn't work at all if it turns white. Treatments can be used to eliminate problem brush while leaving nearby desirable vegetation unharmed. So, you know, I can remember Russell saying when you're spraying around stuff that's desirable and you want to keep it around, use a coarser head. Drop the size are bigger, they tend to drift less, less than a finer head spray would go. The best equipment I could find to use Pathfinder 2 is a backpack sprayer with a wand and adjustable cone tip. And I guess that's just because it works better through basic bark application. And flying, like I said earlier, flying it, trying to throw it out, it don't work if it hits the leaves. It has to be on the stem of whatever you're spraying. Dangers. This pesticide is highly combustible. Do not place it in direct heat or store it around heat. And I tried to find maybe like a video or something of this happening, like it combusting or whatever, but I couldn't find anything. Also, I think it's pretty common sense. It probably goes for anybody or any herbicide, but if the container is cut or broke, don't try to weld it, the container, or, you know, if you're going to do that, I suggest probably putting it in a different container before you try to repair the one that's already in. Do not store it or ship with food, clothes, or drugs. But I don't know about y'all, I'd rather not have my food, clothes, and or medicine being sprayed or being shipped with a herbicide, because that probably won't taste good. Environmental hazards. This product is toxic to fish. Keep it out of lakes, rivers, and streams. I tried to find how toxic it is to fish. I found very little information on one website. I couldn't find on anything other. That's why I didn't put it down. But the information I did find said that it's harmful to fish, but in low amounts it won't kill them. It basically like paralyzes them for a certain amount of time, and then everything, once it's through their system, they'll come back. But do not apply directly to water, nor to areas where the water is present, or to intertidal areas above the mean high water mark. Keep it out of wetlands, swamps, places that there are water and aquatic life, just to be safe. So, safety. The most likely way to be exposed to Pathfinder 2 is through contact with the treated bark at the base of the brush. You can eliminate the possibility of exposure if you avoid the area until the bark has absorbed the solution completely. It is a good idea to stay away from the application during site treatment and shortly after. I found that after you have treated an area with Pathfinder 2, the best suggestion that this company has is to stay out of the applied area for at least 6 hours. I say 6 hours. You're generally good to go back in there. They would prefer to stay out for 24 hours or longer just to be safe, but I say after 6 hours you should be good to go. Also, if you're going in there, which I wouldn't suggest, but if you're going in there before 6 hours or up until 6 hours, I'd also wear long pants, a shirt, long sleeves. Just try to keep it off your skin, because it could be irritating. PPEs, personal protective equipment. When using this, wear long sleeve and long pants. Like I said earlier, keep it off your skin, because imagine you get enough on it and it'll probably cause some skin problems. Wear shoes with socks. I started not to even put that in there, but I feel like some people would probably go out there and maybe like some flip-flops or some Crocs or something like that. People like to wear Crocs, Josh. But just wear socks with your shoes when you go out there. Probably lace up shoes would be the best thing to wear out there. Tennis shoes, boots, probably boots more than anything. Also use chemical resistant gloves such as neoprene or barrier laminate. Wear whatever clothing is required by the label. So if you decide to spray this Pathfinder, go buy some and spray Pathfinder 2, I suggest you read the label and follow their PPEs and not just mine by saying wearing long pants and long sleeves will protect you from any kind of contact or any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Harmful effects from this herbicide. Local, statewide, and national use of Pathfinder 2. Pathfinder 2 is available to use in North Carolina. It is used for a variety of problems since it controls so many species of vegetation. It also works very good for farmers, keeping, again, unwanted vegetation out of your cropland areas, your fields, whatever. Pathfinder is used nationwide by utilities, forestry, and agriculture companies to manage their forests, right-of-ways, and fields. I did not find any restricted use on Pathfinder 2. I did not find any state in America that it was illegal to use. I did find it's illegal in Cuba or somewhere, some country overseas it was illegal. I can't exactly remember, but as for North Carolina and the United States, you are good to go to spray it wherever you want to, except in water. My pesticide specialist. According to vegetation management specialist Jesse Simmons, an employee at a local power company for the last 23 years. He works at a power company where I live out in Rockingham. He is their vegetation management specialist. He's been doing it for 23 years, and before that, he was working on the right-of-way and cutting trees. And before that, he cut trees while he was in school, part-time, stuff like that. And he still does time to time, and he knows a lot about it. Pathfinder 2 is highly recommended and widely used with the company he works for. It's versatile because it can be sprayed year-round. Also, substations require a vegetation free zone to prevent fires. Said it works good around your substation, stuff like that. He ain't found anywhere that has messed up anything around a substation, nothing like that. So they like to use it, and again, emphasize on it can be sprayed year-round. That's one. Whenever I've seen Pathfinder mention anything about Pathfinder, that's the first thing I've heard is it can be applied year-round. So people really like that. Site prep. Pathfinder 2 is used for over 80 woody plant species. It is used for site preparation and release treatments because it controls so many different species. The downfall is that the best way for it to be applied is with a backpack sprayer. So you'll have to walk everywhere that you need to be, or everywhere the area needs to be treated, just because it has to be sprayed on the lower stem of whatever you're spraying it on. And again, I wouldn't suggest using a helicopter or nothing like that, just because it don't work if it's being sprayed on the leaves. So restricted use and why. Do not apply this product through any type of irrigation system. I couldn't find anything on why not to pump it through an irrigation system. So do not spray on open water. Pathfinder 2 is toxic to fish. Do not spray on flowers, plants, and crops that are desirable or anything you would like to keep. Just because it controls, 80 different species, there may be one or two out there that some type of flower or something that you have that you like, get on it, probably kill it. Do not spray if it has been snowing or raining. The product will not work when applied to a wet surface. Like I said earlier, make sure if it's been raining, snowing, any kind of wet precipitation, or maybe the area's been hit with a sprinkler or something. I don't know, but just make sure it's dry. The best way I guess you can do that is just go check it with your hand. If it's dry, you're good to go. If it's wet, like I said earlier, it's gonna turn white. And when it turns white, you know that it does not work, and you will have to apply Pathfinder 2 again to whatever you're trying to control. Pathfinder's manufacturer is Dow AgroSciences, and it produces Pathfinder 2. Dow Agro started, it began in the 1950s as an agriculture unit of the Dow Chemical Company. In 1997, the Dow Chemical Company acquired 100% ownership of the business, which was Elanco Plant Science, and renamed it Dow AgroSciences. Today, Dow employs more than 9,000 people worldwide, and their 2014 global sales were $7.3 billion US. So it's a pretty big company. Been around for a long time. I had a bunch of stuff on this, but I condensed it down. I found a bunch of stuff on the history of the company, and it's changed hands, I believe, 3 times, but ultimately Dow AgroSciences is what it was renamed, and it still is Dow AgroSciences. And they produce, I imagine, probably most people's herbicide they had in here. And that's the Pathfinder label. Dow AgroSciences make no representation or warranties expressed or implied with respect to the completeness or accuracy of the specimen labels or provided or information contained herein. It's you know, it's your typical label that goes on the back, and I'm sure everybody in here has a label on theirs, and everybody knows that what's on the label goes for that, whether it's directions or saying what you can't be sprayed on, what the company will be responsible or not responsible for. So I would suggest before or when you buy or looking to buying some herbicide, pesticide, whatever it may be, read the label, read it carefully. That way you know how it needs to be sprayed and what you can and can't do with it. Because they frown upon just spraying whatever and wherever you want to spray. And those are my resources. That was not blue because there's not a website for my vegetation specialist. But those are all good websites. I'm pulling Mike Thompson here. I'll suggest you go check out some of these websites. There's a lot of information that I wished I could have put in here, but for time's sake, I didn't, and so I'll try to keep this as short and as sweet as possible while trying to get to 15 minutes. But I would suggest going to take a look at least a couple of these websites. There's a lot of interesting information about Pathfinder on there, and just not only Pathfinder, but I can't remember which. It might be Arborchem. But one of them has 3 where you can go on. It has a forestry side, it has a utility side, and then a farming side where you can go on and find out different information about different things. Josh?
What does this control?
Okay. The 80 woody plant species is what I found. On probably over half of these websites. That's probably what I spent most of my time on, is trying to find out some of the 80 plant species. The only thing that I could find is it kept saying 80 woody plant species. And I can't tell you, I tried to come talk to Russell one day to show it to him, but the PowerPoint wouldn't pull up. And then my mama said I should try harder to find it, but of course that I could not find it. So I'm sorry I can't answer the different
hardwoods or what?
The only like broad specifications I went into was 80 woody plant species, vines, you know, just various hardwoods.
Do grasses and stuff also?
Well, I imagine if it can be used for agricultural purposes, that it could be used to control different grasses and whatever. you have grow up in one of your fields that you didn't want. Do I stop or keep going? Anybody else got any questions?
I got a comment, man.
What is it?
That guy that was in here, what was that, Scarborough?
Logan?
He said that this, when they sprayed the right of way, that it made the briars come up.
Oh, yeah, and that's why I was,
He's talking about Arsenal also.
But
He's also referring to Arsenal.
that's why I was telling Journey. Journey could tell you that place where he was at yesterday. I think that's where briars are probably manufactured. Okay, here we go, Josh. Among the woody plant species that it controls, Atlantis, green and white ash, beech, American beech, blackberry, black locust, black gum, cherry, cottonwood, dogwood, flowering dogwood, elm, gallberry, hackberry, mockernut hickory, pignut hickory, honey locust, black locust. Trying to pick out some stuff that we see here a lot.
See hardwoods,
Yeah,
any vines or grasses?
that's what I'm looking for. Autumn olive, Russian olive, sumac, poison oak, poison ivy, that's, and watch out on here, watch out for, your pines. It has, jack pine, loblolly, ponderosa, red, white, pine is on here too. So watch out for them if you're spraying it somewhere around pines, make sure that it don't come in direct contact with your pines. Or, I know, people like to have oaks around, maybe some poplars, yellow poplars, watch out for them, cause yellow poplars on here too. But I'd say 90% of this, 95% of this is 80 of the 80 species is hardwood. And if anybody wants to come take a look with it, I'm sure Russell, if I just leave it on the table right here, if anybody wants to look at it, that'd be fine. Y'all come here and look at all of them. Anybody else got any questions?
All right, things you need to remember about Pathfinder, good job, boy. Things you need to remember about Pathfinder is, don't get it confused with Pathway. Pathway is a cut surface only. Who's got Pathway? Somebody's not here?
Might be Alan.
Or maybe it's Steve.
Or Alf. No. I think it is too.
Because it's related, see, Pathway and Pathfinder are second and third cousins to Tordon. That's why Steve wanted to be here to give your presentation. He wanted to be because he's gonna say something. So they took the foliar part out for these two chemicals. Initially, Pathway came out and cut the surface, and they said, well, we think this could work good with a basal bark as well. So if you had basal bark and cut stuff you want to kill, you buy Pathfinder. If you do when you cut surface, you buy Pathway.
So basil bark and cut surface is
Pathfinder.
Well, he just did.
Pathfinder, okay.
And there's a Pathfinder 1 and a Pathfinder 2.
They're very similar.
Yeah.
This shit stinks. I didn't read the label very good with class one time, and I sprayed this whole area down here with these pines going down the shooting range. And, they flipped out because they had kids at daycare, it smelled the whole damn schoolyard up for about 2 days.
Dang on.
But it smelled like diesel fuel
Mm.
and some other stuff, pretty bad, and they were scared the kids were gonna get sick or something. But anyway, it killed most of the dogwoods. I forgot it was soil active. Mike, you killed all the dogwoods. We were just experimenting.
That's why he has it.
I sprayed it on the damn leaves, I didn't even read the label. Somebody left some shit out here and I didn't read the label, we sprayed it on the damn leaves, the sprouts, and it killed every damn thing except pines. I guess the shit ran off the leaves and ran down the side.
That's what,
It went down in the damn ground and translocated over through the damn soil and killed the dogwoods.
dang on. It's a hard hitter, y'all, so y'all be careful.
Yeah, see, it's kinda tore on, it killed the house and stuff.